Well, you've made it to level 2. So what I'm going to do is go over some of the different missions for level 2. Now, this video is located in this folder. This is a podcast just on changing your mind. You'll deal with that when you're doing the ethical thinking paper. In this video, I'm going to go over mission 4, mission 5, and mission 7. Mission 6 is going to have its own video because it deals with your ethical thinking assignment. So looking at mission 4, it's about DNA. Much of this stuff you should have had in high school, so hopefully it will come back to you. Basically, we have some websites, some videos here to watch, looking at the characteristics of DNA, DNA replication, and the discovery of the structured DNA, which is actually one of the top science uh, discoveries, accomplishments of last century. So after you watch those and look at your book, and again, it should be somewhat reviewed to you, you're then going to create a DNA model construction. So here's the assignment. It is a Word document. And maybe it'll come up, maybe it won't. Here it comes. So here's the assignment. You're going to construct a DNA molecule. It needs to be three-dimensional. So I don't want you just taking a piece of paper and taping other papers on, construction paper on it. You need to create something that is 3D that you can actually hold in your hand. And you'll need to take a picture of it with you in it so that I know that you made it. It tells you what you need in there. You need all the parts of a nucleotide, double helix, complementary base pairs, and you'll take one picture with you in it. The second picture needs to be a little bit more close up, a little more detailed to show me that you know what the parts are. So make sure that the parts are identified somehow on the model, so I know that you know what part is what. So that is the only assignment for mission 7. Oh, sorry, mission 4, chapter 7. Let's go back here then to level 2 and go on to mission 5. Mission 5 is on the process of genes becoming proteins. Again, you have the objectives here. You'll get a lot of these from your book, but you'll get this one from a podcast you're going to watch. And then there's going to be things on what's called CRISPR-9, which I'll come back to. So this mission deals primarily with how the instructions from a gene become a protein. And so for this assignment, you're going to watch a video on an exercise that you're actually going to do. So you're going to have to get a blank piece of paper, watch the video. You may have to watch it more than once to make sure that you get all the details. And you're going to replicate to some extent what I do in the video. You're going to make your own gene though. You're going to have your own nucleotides to make up your own gene and come up with your own protein. So all that's here is a blank piece of paper. So you're going to take a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, you're going to fold it the way I tell you in the video. You're going to go through all the steps I go through in the video, and then you're going to take a picture of that, or you're going to scan it, and then you're going to insert that picture. And again, it needs to be big enough that I can see the parts, and it needs to be in focus. You're going to insert that picture on this piece of paper and then submit this piece of paper to this assignment link. So that's on protein synthesis. That's one thing you'll do for this mission, mission 5. Second thing you'll do is you'll do an exercise on transgenic organisms. You may have heard of them as genetically modified organisms, GMOs. There's a podcast in here. So what you're going to do is click on this folder. And then you're going to listen to this podcast. It's what's called Science Versus, and it's going to go through several questions about genetically modified organisms, and it's going to answer those questions based on the research that has been done. So you will then go to this journal entry, and it will be your responsibility to write the questions that they're answering and then to write the scientific response to the question, okay, to the question. They're very good in these podcasts of telling you what science knows and what science doesn't know yet. So that is transgenic organisms. Again, sorry, it's taking a little time. It's a little slow. You'll find that happens. So that's under transgenic organisms. The next folder is over CRISPR-Cas9 technology and ethics. This is the topic that you're going to do your first ethical thinking paper on. So in this folder itself, let me show you what's in there. I've got a video. I've got a video on the founder of this technology explaining what it is, and she starts to go into the ethics of this issue, which you need to pay attention to. You're then going to listen to this podcast on CRISPR-Cas9 done by WNYC Radio. It's an excellent, they're excellent podcasts. And you're going to take notes on it. And I don't want you just writing notes. I want you drawing pictures. They're going to explain to you, and you should be able to do this because they're going to explain to you what it does to a gene, how the technology works. So I want to see your notes in picture format. For some of you, you may learn better that way, and that's why I'm trying to introduce you to that. And again, the notes that you're going to use, you will use on your paper. So here's the podcast itself. Note that it's 50 minutes long. This is an article on the ethical issues with CRISPR. Then this is another video on how this could possibly end genetic disease. This is another video on the ethical dilemma of what this could do to be the effect it could have on possibly leading to designer babies. So it's looking at several different ways to look at this technology, explains the technology, then starts getting into the ethics of it. Here's the only assignment out of all of these, and that's your written notes and pictures from this podcast, which again, you'll draw it, scan it, take a picture of it, either one, and then you'll insert it into this assignment. So this information is going to be really important for your ethical thinking paper. So make sure you're understanding it, make sure you're taking notes, and you're also going to have to look up several other references when you actually do the paper. The goal is just to get you started. Okay, so that is mission 5. Now let me go back. Remember I said I'm not going to do mission 6 in this video because that's going to be its own separate video. I'm going to go through mission 7. Okay. Mission 7 will be completed kind of within, it's a slightly modified schedule because of the ethical thinking paper. Here are your objectives for cancer. Here's a video on mitosis. Again, you should have had this in high school, but between the book, what you already know, and then this video, you should have a pretty good grasp of mitosis. This is a video that I did on the basics of cancer. You'll note that many of the things I talk about in here are going to answer the questions, not all of them, but answer many of the questions that are for the objectives. This is an interesting video on why biology or why cancer is so difficult to treat. People have this concept in their head that one day, poof, we'll just be able to treat it, and this will give you an idea why that's probably not going to happen. This is on a current up-and-coming type of therapy called immunotherapy on cancer. This link will take you to the National Cancer Institute. It gives you a ton of information on all different types of cancers. It's up to date in terms of research, and it's up to date in terms of possible cures and clinical trials that are going on to try to cure different types of cancer. So if you or any member of your family is ever diagnosed, it's a site that you should visit. So you're going to visit the site and you're going to answer the questions in this National Cancer Institute scavenger hunt. So you'll download this, then you'll go to the site here, you'll answer the questions here. The first set of questions, you get to pick what type of cancer you want to research. So if it runs in your family, a certain type, you might want to pick that one because it will talk about the hereditary factors that contribute to cancer. If you don't have a cancer interest, no cancer runs in your family, don't have any friends that there's ones you want to look up, then you get to pick which one you want, answer questions on it, and then you'll submit it to here. So that is the cancer section. There's one more section under cancer, and that is about HeLa cells. This is about a woman you really need to be introduced to. Some of you may know of her. There was a movie that came out on HBO this last summer, but it's about the immortal cells of Henrietta Lacks. Everybody's life, yours, mine, has been affected by this woman's cells. They're pretty amazing. So here's kind of a description. This is a video that is interviewing the woman who wrote the book on Henrietta Lacks' cells, which is called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. And then you're going to do a worksheet. You're going to have to do a little bit of research on your own. I just want you to get an idea of the significance of what this woman has contributed without even knowing it, and also the influence of how this has affected her family, and starting to look at some of the ethical issues of using people's tissues for research and so on. So that is HeLa cells. So again, you'll do this worksheet, download this, answer it, then submit it here. Again, you'll have to do a little bit of research, but I supply you with at least an introduction to HeLa cells. So those are all mission 7. Okay, mission 7. So the test on level 2 comes relatively quickly after the test on level 1. It will involve, let me go back again to level 2. The test on this will involve mission 4, mission 5, and mission 7. Here's a discussion board. Again, if you have questions as you're going through things, you can put the question up on the discussion board and other students may be able to answer it. I will check on it every couple of days. If you don't get an answer or response from me or an answer from a student, then please email me. Now this mission 6, which I'll do in the next video, is separate. You're not going to get tested on this on the level 2 test. That will be assessed with the paper that you're going to do, and again I will have that in the second video over level 2. All right, again, if you have any questions, please let me know.